It's been said that the chances of an entrepreneur keeping a business open past its first year is slim. I've encountered those risks and blown past them. This is the 8th year of Friar's funeral casket, and I'm Norm Friar. The appeal of working for myself isn't what you would normally expect. With farmer's hours and a blue-collar salary, there has never been a time that I regretted doing it this way. I'm here just to make art, the likes of which nobody has ever seen before. The job is all-encompassing. Logging, hauling, engineering and design, tool operation, mechanic, accountant, chemist, as well as an artist. It's the 8th year of my company and my 14th year as a craftsman. There are few artworks that people can recognize at a glance by whose hand they were formed. My mission from the start was to make works with such a marvel of design and beauty that the public would be able to recognize my work at a glance, and the competitors would not even dare to attempt copying them. With a bachelor's degree with honors from Arkansas Tech, a walk through the Mensa exam, a solid professional history, knowledge of the trades, an eye for art, a slant for creative solutions, and a credit score above 720, I can do anything. Yet, I chose to do this. At a glance, you'll notice there's no trim, plugs, or veneers to hide discrepancies. There's no screws, nails, brads, staples, or steel of any kind holding works together. The work is planned in more detail than meets the eye. There is a process to selecting each log, each board, to lining up the directions of the grain, to selecting the shape, size, thickness, species, glue, and finish to have the greatest impact on strength, longevity, and beauty, with little regard to the complexity or the time it will take to make the strongest and most lasting impact to the one that holds the piece in their collection. A common misconception is that the work is inlay, but inlay is thin veneers of wood glued into recesses, which doesn't hold up well to time, whereas my work is entirely solid pieces, visible inside and out. There's use of the dovetail spline key, which is very difficult to accomplish and holds together stronger than any other dovetail joint. I spent most of my working life wearing a tie behind a desk, and as clearly as I saw the ability to double the productivity and halve the cost of production, the efforts will be forgotten 20 years from now. If I'm going to change the world, if I'm going to leave results behind that others will appreciate, then this is the way I'm going to be remembered. There's usually more than 4 projects going on, all at the same time. The schedule revolves around the time it takes for glue to set. When work is clamped and needs a few hours to set, there's always another work that needs a phase completed on it. In this way, the momentum stays strong for many projects at once. Here are a few of them, some of which are years after designing, which are now underway at this time. This is a 1951 Chris Craft Sportsman. She's getting a renovation from the inside out. Technology and materials have advanced since her birthday, so she's being refitted with steam-bent Honduras mahogany, waterproof glues, polyester fillers, stainless steel fasteners, and epoxy finishes with ultraviolet inhibitors. She's being reinforced in areas that have proved weak over her lifetime, and additional design enhancements have been introduced to reduce the effects of further aging. As a former engineer and a longtime water sport enthusiast, this sort of work is pure pleasure to perform. When she's afloat again, these improvements will be hardly noticeable to the general public, with one exception. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to make art that nobody else would dare consider copying, and this jewel has an upper deck that will be brilliant like no others before her. I've researched the methods and reasons of how these decks are built, and I'm somewhat astounded that they are not all that they appear to be. They are sensitive, high maintenance, all alike, and best viewed from a distance. Basically, the approach hasn't changed from the 50s. I'm going to rewrite history with her. If you want to start your own business, you've got to put your fears aside and commit with the knowledge that if you don't perform exactly to the plan, then it's going to be a painful landing. And although it's rare to do it nowadays, find one example that made it look easy and follow that example. If you have a dream and the guts to follow it, then don't listen to those who would tell you it's impossible or that the chances of success are rare, because I know for one that with the proper planning and execution, you can make the impossible look easy. Tips for beginners. Be sure to always wear eye protection. Your eyes are vital to your health. Ear protection is equally important also. An artist's goal is to invent new ways of creating things so that others can be able to look at the world in new and different ways. Don't be afraid to experiment with bold-natured methods. And always remember not to be so serious so that you've lost touch with your sense of humor.